David Brooks was publicly humiliated in a ruthless boardroom confrontation, but what he revealed next turned his world upside down. Can humiliation really unleash unstoppable success, or would it be your undoing? Don't miss how a bold move reshaped the entire company. Stay tuned to discover the mystery behind David's secret history. Welcome, enjoy, subscribe, and turn on notifications. David Brooks sat at his desk in the heart of Metroville's financial district, the morning sun streaming through the large windows of the open-plan office. The hum of keyboards and the steady murmur of colleagues pitching in on various projects created a familiar backdrop to his daily routine. His workspace was a blend of professional efficiency and personal warmth. Family photos in cheerful frames, a small potted plant thriving on the corner, and a mug that read, "Dream Big." David took a deep breath, savoring the scent of freshly brewed coffee that filled the office. At 42, he had cultivated a reputation as a dependable and innovative mid-level manager. His team respected him not just for his expertise, but for his genuine care and ability to inspire those around him. Today was particularly important. The quarterly review meeting was just a week away, and David had poured his heart into developing a new project proposal that he believed could revolutionize their department's workflow. He glanced at the whiteboard covered in colorful charts and graphs, a testament to countless brainstorming sessions with his team. Linda Martinez, his closest colleague and confidant, had been instrumental in shaping the project. Her keen insights and unwavering support had given David the confidence to push his ideas forward, even when doubts occasionally crept in. As the day progressed, the usual office chatter buzzed around David, discussions about deadlines, client meetings, and weekend plans. Yet, his mind was occupied with the upcoming presentation. He reviewed his slides one last time, ensuring every detail was meticulously arranged. This project wasn't just another task, it was a culmination of months of dedication, aimed at enhancing efficiency and fostering a more collaborative environment. During lunch, David met Linda in the small break room, a cozy space with a round table and a view of the bustling street outside. They shared a hearty laugh over a funny incident from the previous week, the camaraderie between them a comforting presence amidst the corporate pressures. "Feeling ready for the review, David?" Linda asked, her eyes sparkling with encouragement. "As ready as I can be," David replied, a hint of nervous excitement in his voice. "I just hope my ideas resonate with the board." Linda placed a reassuring hand on his shoulder. "They will. You've done an exceptional job. Just stay true to your vision." Her words bolstered his spirits, and he couldn't help but smile. The support from Linda and his team had been invaluable, reminding him that he wasn't alone in this endeavor. As the afternoon sun dipped lower, casting long shadows across the office, David felt a surge of determination. The quarterly review wasn't just a routine meeting. It was an opportunity to showcase their hard work and potentially secure the resources needed to bring the project to life. The stakes were high, but so was his belief in the value of what they had created. Leaving the office that evening, David paused for a moment to take in the vibrant cityscape. The streets were alive with the energy of urban life. Street vendors, business people, and families bustling to their evening destinations. The golden hues of the setting sun reflected off the glass buildings, a reminder of the endless possibilities that awaited within Metroville's dynamic environment. With a final glance at his phone, ensuring he had everything he needed for the presentation, David felt a sense of calm wash over him. Whatever challenges lay ahead, he was ready to face them head-on, fueled by ambition and the unwavering support of those who believed in him. The day of the quarterly review arrived with an air of anticipation. The conference room, located on the top floor of the office building, was a sleek, glass-paneled space offering panoramic views of Metroville. The room buzzed with activity as team members prepared for their presentations, each one meticulously arranging their materials and rehearsing their pitches. David stood by the window, taking a moment to center himself. He looked around at his colleagues, noting the confident postures and the subtle tension that accompanied high-stakes meetings. Linda approached, her presence a steadying force. "You ready?" she asked with a warm smile. "As I'll ever be," David replied, returning her smile. "Thanks for being here." They shared a brief nod of mutual support before David took his place at the front of the room. The executive board, a group of seasoned professionals, sat at the long table, their expressions attentive yet inscrutable. Mr. Thompson, a senior executive known for his sharp critiques, observed David with a hint of skepticism. David began his presentation, his voice steady as he outlined the innovative aspects of his project. He navigated through each slide with clarity, highlighting the potential benefits and long-term gains for the department. The initial reception seemed positive, nods of approval and thoughtful expressions indicating engagement. As he concluded, David opened the floor to questions and feedback. It was then that Mr. Thompson seized the opportunity to interject. "While I appreciate the effort, I fail to see how this aligns with our current strategic priorities," he declared, his tone dismissive. "Furthermore, the projected costs seem excessive without guaranteed returns." A ripple of murmurs spread through the room. David felt a pang of frustration but maintained his composure. He responded professionally, addressing each concern with data-backed arguments and clarifying misconceptions. However, Mr. Thompson remained unwavering, his criticisms growing more pointed as the discussion progressed. "Perhaps this overambitious for our current stage," Mr. Thompson concluded, his gaze fixed firmly on David. "I suggest reevaluating your approach before presenting it again." The room fell silent, the weight of the critique hanging heavily in the air. David's heart sank as he sensed the undercurrent of doubt among his peers. The public nature of the criticism magnified his embarrassment, casting a shadow over his previously confident demeanor. As the meeting adjourned, David exchanged uneasy glances with his team. Linda offered a supportive smile, but the collective uncertainty was palpable. Mr. Thompson's words had not only undermined the project, but also shaken David's self-assurance. Leaving the conference room, David felt a mix of emotions: humiliation, frustration, and a lingering seed of doubt. The bustling office that once felt like a hub of opportunity now seemed fraught with uncertainty. He retreated to his desk, the comfortable familiarity of his workspace offering little solace in the wake of the meeting's fallout. Throughout the day, David noticed a subtle shift in the office dynamics. Some colleagues avoided eye contact, wary of the perceived weakness, while others whispered quietly, the ripples of the meeting's tension affecting the overall morale. The project that had once been a beacon of hope now seemed overshadowed by skepticism and resistance. In the break room later that afternoon, Linda joined him, her expression earnest. "Don't let it get to you, David. You know the value of your work. Mr. Thompson doesn't always see eye to eye with innovative ideas." David managed a weary smile. "I just can't help but wonder if I overstepped. Maybe he's right." Linda shook her head gently. "Sometimes the greatest ideas face the fiercest opposition. Don't let one person's critique define your worth or the potential of your project." Her words offered a temporary balm to his bruised ego, but the lingering doubt remained. As the office emptied and David prepared to leave for the day, he couldn't shake the feeling that his career might be teetering on the brink of derailment. The confidence that had once propelled him forward now felt fragile, as if one misstep could shatter everything he had worked so hard to build. Walking out into the evening air, David took a deep breath, the sounds of the city a stark contrast to the silence he felt inside. The golden hues of the setting sun mirrored his conflicted emotions, hope intertwined with despair. The road ahead was unclear, and the path to redemption seemed fraught with challenges he hadn't anticipated. As he navigated the bustling sidewalks of Metroville, David's mind raced with questions about his next steps. The support of his team, especially Linda, provided a glimmer of hope, but the shadow of Mr. Thompson's critique loomed large. Determined yet uncertain, David resolved to find a way to reclaim his standing and prove the worth of his vision, no matter the obstacles that lay ahead. The following morning, the weight of the previous day's events lingered heavily on David. As he arrived at the office, the usual energetic buzz seemed muted, the lingering tension a silent testament to the fallout from the quarterly review. He walked through the open-plan space, nodding politely to colleagues who offered forced smiles, their eyes betraying a hint of uncertainty. At his desk, David stared blankly at his computer screen, the once inspiring charts and graphs now symbols of doubt. The project proposal, which had been months in the making, now felt like a fragile thing hanging by a thread. He rubbed his temples, the stress manifesting in a dull ache that seemed to settle deeper with each passing hour. Linda approached, her presence a reassuring constant in the sea of uncertainty. "Good morning, David," she greeted softly, taking a seat beside him. "How are you holding up?" David sighed, forcing a semblance of composure. "It's been a rough day. I just can't get Mr. Thompson's words out of my head. Maybe I was too ambitious. Linda shook her head gently. Ambition is a good thing, David. It's what drives progress. Don't let one harsh critique make you question your worth or the value of your ideas. He looked up, meeting her empathetic gaze. I appreciate that, Linda. It's just hard to shake off the doubt, especially when I see others getting frustrated or losing faith. She reached out, placing a comforting hand on his arm. You're not alone in this. We're all here to support you, and I believe in what you're doing. Sometimes, setbacks are just stepping stones to something greater. David nodded, the sincerity in her words providing a flicker of reassurance. Thanks. I guess I need to find a way to move past this and show everyone the potential of the project. As the day progressed, the challenges became more pronounced. Upper management, once enthusiastic about the project, now viewed it with skepticism, often questioning its feasibility and return on investment. The team's morale dipped, with some members expressing reservations and others mirroring David's dwindling confidence. During a team meeting in the corner office, David addressed his colleagues, striving to muster the same passion that had fueled him initially. I know the last meeting was tough, and there are concerns about the project, but I truly believe in its potential to streamline our processes and foster a more collaborative environment. I'm open to feedback and willing to make adjustments to ensure its success. There was a moment of silence before Sarah Lee, one of the younger team members, spoke up. I agree with David. I think with some refinements, this project could really make a difference. It's worth giving it another shot. Her support ignited a spark within him, a reminder of why he had championed the project in the first place. Thank you, Sarah. Your support means a lot. Let's work together to address these concerns and make this project the success we all envision. The meeting ended on a cautiously optimistic note, with a few team members volunteering to help refine the proposal. Linda stayed behind, offering a warm smile. See? There are still people who believe in you and the project. Let's focus on that and turn things around. As the day wore on, David delved into the task of revising his proposal. He reached out to colleagues for their input, incorporating their suggestions and addressing the concerns raised during the review meeting. The collaborative effort not only improved the project, but also began to rebuild the team's trust and confidence. Despite the progress, challenges persisted. Limited resources and the ongoing resistance from certain upper management figures led by Mr. Thompson made the path forward seem daunting. The financial constraints required David to make tough decisions about where to allocate funds, often stretching his priorities thin. One evening, as David stayed late to finalize the revised proposal, he found himself alone in the office, the city lights twinkling outside the windows. The quiet solitude was a stark contrast to the bustling energy of the daytime office, offering a moment of reflection. He thought about the initial excitement that had driven him to develop the project and the subsequent hurdles that had tested his resilience. The experience had chipped away at his confidence, leaving him questioning his abilities and the value of his contributions. Reluctantly, David leaned back in his chair, the exhaustion evident in his posture. What am I doing wrong? He murmured to himself. Why is it so hard to make people see the potential here? The frustration bubbled to the surface, threatening to overwhelm him. But amidst the despair, a flicker of determination ignited within him. He couldn't let his doubts dictate the outcome. The project represented more than just a professional milestone. It was a testament to his belief in innovation and the power of collaborative effort. Drawing a deep breath, David refocused on the task at hand. He meticulously reviewed every aspect of the proposal, ensuring that each element was as robust and compelling as possible. The hours passed, but his resolve remained unshaken. Slowly but surely, the pieces began to fit together, transforming uncertainty into a structured plan of action. As midnight approached, David finally leaned back, a sense of accomplishment washing over him. The revised proposal was not only feasible, but also enhanced by the collective input of his team. It was a reflection of their shared vision and unwavering commitment to overcoming obstacles. Exhausted yet content, David decided to call it a night. As he gathered his things, he caught a glimpse of his reflection in the window, a reminder of the long hours and the personal sacrifices he had made for his professional aspirations. Despite the fatigue, A newfound sense of hope surged within him. Perhaps this was the turning point he needed, a chance to reclaim his confidence and prove the true worth of his ambitions. The following morning dawned with a palpable sense of anticipation mixed with lingering uncertainty. David arrived at the office earlier than usual, finding solace in the quiet before the day's bustle began. The tranquil moments allowed him to mentally prepare for the challenges ahead, knowing that rallying his team would require both strategy and empathy. As he entered the open-plan office, the familiar sights and sounds greeted him. A mosaic of diligent workers, the steady clatter of keyboards, and the low hum of conversations. Yet, beneath the surface, an undercurrent of tension persisted from the previous day's meeting. David could sense the unspoken doubts and hesitations among his colleagues, their usual confidence slightly dimmed. He made his way to the conference room, where his team had gathered for their daily briefing. The room was adorned with whiteboards filled with notes and diagrams, a testament to their collaborative efforts. Linda Martinez was already there, her presence exuding calm and assurance. "Good morning, everyone," David began, his voice steady. "I know yesterday was tough, and I want to acknowledge the impact it had on all of us. But I believe in this project and in each of you. We have the opportunity to turn things around and demonstrate the true potential of our ideas." His words hung in the air, met with a mixture of nods and tentative smiles. Sarah Lee, the young and enthusiastic team member, was the first to respond. "I think if we incorporate some of the feedback from yesterday, we can make our proposal even stronger. Maybe we could focus more on the cost-benefit analysis and streamline some of the processes." David appreciated her proactive approach. "Absolutely, Sarah. Your insights are invaluable. Let's go through the feedback and see how we can refine our strategy." The team delved into a robust discussion, brainstorming ways to address the concerns raised by Mr. Thompson. They reviewed each point meticulously, ensuring that every aspect of the proposal was scrutinized and improved upon. David facilitated the conversation, encouraging everyone to voice their ideas and fostering an environment of open collaboration. As the morning progressed, the initial tension began to dissipate, replaced by a renewed sense of purpose. Linda suggested reaching out to other departments to gather additional data and support, while another team member offered to handle the financial projections with greater precision. The collective effort not only enhanced the project, but also strengthened the bonds within the team. During a brief coffee break, David found himself seated with Linda and Sarah by the window, enjoying a moment of respite amidst their busy schedules. The cityscape of Metroville stretched out before them, the towering skyscrapers reflecting the morning sun. "Linda, I can't thank you enough for your support," David confessed, his voice tinged with gratitude. "Without you, I don't know if I'd have the strength to push through yesterday." Linda smiled warmly. "We're a team, David. We support each other, especially during tough times. Remember, your vision is what brought us together in the first place. We believe in it." Sarah chimed in, her eyes bright with determination. "And I believe in David. I think with the adjustments we're making, this project can really make a difference for the company." Their encouragement fueled David's resolve. "Thank you both. Your unwavering support means the world to me. Let's continue working hard and show everyone what we're capable of." As the day unfolded, the team's momentum grew. They coordinated meetings, conducted in-depth research, and meticulously revised their proposal. Each member brought their unique strengths to the table, creating a dynamic synergy that propelled the project forward. David found himself invigorated by their collective dedication, the shared goal forging a stronger sense of unity and purpose. Despite the progress, challenges remained. Limited resources and tight deadlines loomed as constant reminders of the hurdles they needed to overcome. Mr. Thompson's continued resistance was a shadow that they couldn't entirely dispel, his presence a reminder of the skepticism they still faced. During a late afternoon session, the team gathered for another brainstorming meeting. David stood at the head of the table, presenting the latest version of the proposal. "We've addressed the major concerns raised yesterday, but we still need to ensure that our approach is both feasible and impactful. Let's go through it one more time and identify any remaining gaps." The team meticulously reviewed each section, highlighting areas that required further refinement. The collaborative effort paid off, as they uncovered additional ways to enhance the project's viability and alignment with the company's strategic goals. David felt a surge of pride witnessing his team's dedication and ingenuity, their unwavering commitment a testament to their belief in the project's potential. As the meeting concluded, Linda approached David with a reassuring smile. "We're making great strides, David. I really think this revised proposal will resonate with the board." David nodded, feeling a sense of optimism he hadn't experienced since the initial setback. "I hope so. It's been a challenging few days, but I can see the progress we're making together." Sarah added, "And I think it's starting to shift people's perceptions. A few colleagues have been more engaged and supportive since we began refining the proposal." Their collective resilience and teamwork were turning the tide, transforming doubt into determination. David couldn't help but feel a renewed sense of hope, confident that their combined efforts would eventually overcome the obstacles in their path. As evening descended over Metroville, the office began to empty, the city's vibrant energy giving way to the calm of night. David lingered for a moment, taking in the skyline once more. The lights of the buildings twinkled like constellations, a reminder of the endless possibilities that awaited those willing to persevere. With a final glance at his team, David felt a sense of gratitude and anticipation. The road ahead was still uncertain, but he knew that with the support of his dedicated team, they could navigate the challenges and emerge stronger than before. As he turned off the lights and headed home, the promise of a new dawn filled him with determination, ready to face whatever lay ahead with unwavering resolve. As the days turned into weeks, David and his team continued to refine their proposal, each iteration bringing them closer to a polished and compelling presentation. The office environment, once tinged with skepticism, now buzzed with a quiet optimism. However, beneath the surface of progress, Mr. Thompson's opposition remained a persistent obstacle, his criticisms a thorn in their collective side. One morning, David arrived at the office to find an urgent email from Linda. The subject line read, "Need to talk important development." Concern etched on his face, he quickly made his way to her desk. Linda looked visibly distressed as he approached. "What's going on, Linda?" She glanced around to ensure privacy before speaking softly. "I've been hearing some things that might explain Mr. Thompson's relentless opposition to our project. Apparently, there have been discussions about departmental restructures and shifts in leadership priorities. It seems Mr. Thompson is trying to maintain control over upcoming initiatives to secure his position." David felt a mixture of frustration and understanding. So, his resistance isn't about the project's feasibility, but about something more personal. Linda nodded. "Exactly. It appears he's using every opportunity to push back against new ideas to ensure he remains indispensable. This could be why he's so opposed to our proposal, regardless of its merits." Realization dawned on David. So, he's not evaluating the project on its own merits, but rather trying to stifle any changes that might threaten his standing. This changes everything. Determined to uncover the full extent of Mr. Thompson's motives, David decided to investigate further. He began discreetly gathering information, speaking with colleagues who had previously worked closely with Mr. Thompson. Through these conversations, he learned that similar patterns of resistance had emerged in past projects, with Mr. Thompson positioning himself as the gatekeeper of departmental initiatives. One afternoon, David requested a meeting with Mr. Thompson, hoping to gain clarity. As they sat across from each other in the conference room, the atmosphere was thick with tension. "Mr. Thompson, I wanted to discuss our recent interactions regarding the project proposal," David began cautiously. "I've sensed some resistance and wanted to understand your perspective better." Mr. Thompson leaned back in his chair, his expression guarded. "David, I've made my stance clear. My concerns are about the project's alignment with our strategic goals and its financial viability." David nodded, choosing his words carefully. "I understand the importance of aligning with our objectives. However, I believe with the refinements we've made, the project can significantly contribute to our department's efficiency and long-term growth. Is there something specific that's causing this persistent opposition?" Mr. Thompson paused, his eyes narrowing slightly. "David, it's not just about this project. There are broader implications for the department's direction and how new initiatives are managed. We need to ensure that any changes are sustainable and beneficial in the long run." David sensed the underlying tension, but chose not to push further. "I appreciate your input, and I'm committed to addressing any concerns to make this project a success. Perhaps we can find common ground to move forward." Mr. Thompson's expression remained inscrutable. "I'll take your commitment into consideration." Let's see how things develop. Leaving the meeting, David couldn't shake the feeling that there was more to Mr. Thompson's resistance than met the eye. The confrontation had neither provided clarity nor resolution, reinforcing his suspicion that personal motives were at play. Determined to protect his project and reputation, David intensified his efforts to gather evidence of Mr. Thompson's underlying motives. He reached out to trusted colleagues who had experienced similar pushbacks, compiling a pattern of behavior that suggested a broader attempt to control departmental initiatives. The more he uncovered, the more he realized the depth of the challenge he faced. One evening, as David sat alone in his office, poring over his findings, the weight of the situation pressed heavily upon him. The discovery that Mr. Thompson was likely sabotaging projects to maintain his authority was disheartening, but it also ignited a sense of resolve within him. This wasn't just about the proposal anymore. It was about challenging an entrenched system that stifled innovation and progress. The following day, David called an urgent team meeting. As his colleagues gathered, the gravity of the situation became apparent. "I've uncovered some important information about Mr. Thompson's resistance to our project," David began, his voice firm yet empathetic. "It appears that his opposition goes beyond legitimate concerns about the project's feasibility. There are underlying motives at play that are hindering not just our efforts, but potentially those of others as well." The room was silent, the weight of his words sinking in. Linda stepped forward, determination etched on her face. "What do you propose we do, David?" David took a deep breath, meeting each of his team's eyes. "We need to address this head-on. I'm planning to present our findings to the executive board, highlighting how Mr. Thompson's actions are counterproductive to our department's goals. We need their support to ensure that our project is evaluated fairly and that similar resistance doesn't hinder future initiatives." Sarah nodded, her initial enthusiasm now tempered with a deeper understanding of the stakes involved. "I think that's the right approach. We've worked too hard to let personal agendas derail something that could truly benefit the company," Linda added. "And we have the support of some key team members who believe in our project. We can present a united front." David felt a surge of gratitude for his team's unwavering support. "Thank you, all of you. Your dedication and belief in this project are what make it worthwhile. Let's gather all the necessary evidence and prepare a compelling case for the executive board. Together, we can overcome these obstacles and ensure that our hard work is recognized and valued." As the team dispersed to tackle their respective tasks, David felt a renewed sense of purpose. The journey ahead would be challenging, fraught with political maneuvering and potential setbacks, but he was no longer daunted by the obstacles. With the collective strength and resilience of his team, he was confident they could navigate the complexities and emerge victorious. That evening, David stayed late at the office, meticulously organizing the evidence he had gathered. He compiled a comprehensive report detailing Mr. Thompson's pattern of resistance, supported by testimonies and documented instances of obstruction. The more he worked, the clearer the path forward became, a path that required courage, strategic thinking, and unwavering commitment to the truth. As the clock ticked closer to midnight, David finally leaned back, exhaustion mingling with a sense of accomplishment. The report was thorough, presenting a compelling narrative that highlighted not only the merits of their project, but also the detrimental impact of unchecked personal agendas within the department. With a final review, David felt ready to present their case, knowing that it was a crucial step toward reclaiming their project and fostering a more positive and innovative departmental culture. The road to redemption was within sight, illuminated by the collective efforts and unwavering spirit of his team. The day of the executive board meeting arrived, bringing with it a mixture of anxiety and anticipation. David stood in front of the large mirror in the office restroom, adjusting his tie, and took a deep breath. This was the moment he had been preparing for, a chance to vindicate his project and address the underlying issues that had threatened its success. As he entered the conference room, the atmosphere was noticeably more tense than before. The executive board members, including the CEO and several high-ranking officials, occupied their usual seats at the head of the table. Mr. Thompson was present as well, his demeanor unchanging but watchful. David took his place beside Linda and Sarah, who were also prepared to present. The room fell silent as he began. "Thank you all for meeting with us today," David started, his voice steady. "We appreciate the opportunity to present our project once again. along with some important findings that I believe are crucial for its evaluation. He clicked the remote, displaying the first slide of his presentation, a comprehensive overview of the project's goals and potential benefits. The initial sections flowed smoothly, presenting data on increased efficiency, cost savings, and enhanced collaboration within the department. The board members listened attentively, their expressions thoughtful. As he transitioned to the next section, David addressed the feedback from the previous meeting. After yesterday's presentation, we took the time to carefully consider the feedback provided. We've made significant revisions to our proposal to better align with the company's strategic objectives and ensure financial feasibility. Just as he began discussing the refined cost-benefit analysis, David's phone buzzed on the table, sending a subtle shiver down his spine. He glanced at it, reminding himself to stay focused. Ignoring the distraction, he continued confidently. Furthermore, we've implemented several key adjustments based on your suggestions, which I'd like to highlight now. He navigated through the slides, illustrating the enhancements and showcasing their team's dedication to continuous improvement. As David neared the end of the presentation, he shifted gears to address the broader challenges they had faced. However, there are some underlying issues that have impeded our progress. It has come to our attention that certain internal dynamics within our department have impacted the support and resources available for innovative projects like ours. He paused, allowing the gravity of his words to settle in. We believe it's essential to ensure that all projects are evaluated fairly and based on their merits, free from personal biases or agendas. Our goal is to foster an environment where innovation thrives and every team member feels empowered to contribute their best ideas. Mr. Thompson rose abruptly from his seat, his expression stern. David, while I respect your passion, this feels like an attempt to deflect responsibility. The challenges you're mentioning are not exclusive to your project. They're part and parcel of corporate dynamics. David met his gaze unwaveringly. Mr. Thompson, our intention is not to assign blame, but to seek constructive solutions. By addressing these internal barriers, we can create a more supportive and productive environment for all our initiatives. The room was silent for a moment before the CEO spoke up. David, your presentation is thorough, and I commend your dedication to refining the proposal. However, addressing internal department issues is a sensitive matter. We need to ensure that any concerns are substantiated and approached with care. David nodded, anticipating the need for evidence. We have gathered documented instances and testimonials that illustrate the pattern of resistance impacting not just our project, but others as well. We believe it's imperative to bring these to light to ensure fair evaluation of all initiatives. At that moment, David's laptop screen froze. The presentation stuck on a critical point. The room grew tense, the prospect of technical difficulties threatening to undermine his already precarious position. David felt his heart race, panic threatening to take hold, but he drew upon his inner resilience. Smiling nervously, he addressed the room. Apologies for the technical glitch. Let me quickly resolve that. As he attempted to reboot the presentation, Mr. Thompson leaned forward, an air of impatience evident. Time is of the essence, David. We have other commitments to attend to, he remarked curtly. Taking a deep breath, David decided to proceed without relying on the visual aids. Understood. I'll summarize the key points verbally, he continued, articulating the core aspects of the revised proposal and reiterating the evidence they had gathered. His voice grew steadier, reflecting his determination to see the presentation through despite the setback. The executive board listened intently, their initial skepticism gradually transforming into engagement. David's ability to adapt under pressure demonstrated his leadership and commitment, qualities that resonated with the board members. As he concluded, David emphasized the collective effort and the unwavering support of his team. Our project is not just about improving processes, it's about fostering a culture of collaboration and innovation. We're committed to overcoming these challenges and contributing to the company's long-term success. The room remained silent for a moment before the CEO spoke again. David, your perseverance and dedication are commendable. We appreciate the thoroughness of your revised proposal and the candidness in addressing internal challenges. We will review the information provided and consider the necessary steps to support and implement your project. Mr. Thompson remained silent, his expression unreadable. David felt a surge of relief mixed with cautious optimism. The presentation, despite its hurdles, had been a defining moment, one that showcased his resilience and the strength of his team. As the meeting adjourned, David exchanged a look of mutual respect with Linda and Sarah. They had navigated the challenges together, their collective effort paying off even in the face of adversity. Walking out of the conference room, David felt a sense of accomplishment tempered by the uncertainty of the board's decision. The technical glitch had been averted, and his ability to adapt under pressure had left a positive impression. However, the real test lay in the days to come, waiting to see if their hard work and determination would translate into the approval and support they so earnestly sought. That evening, as David returned home, the city lights of Metroville twinkled in the distance, a reminder of the endless possibilities that awaited. He reflected on the day's events, proud of how far he and his team had come. Regardless of the outcome, he knew that their journey had strengthened their bonds and reaffirmed their commitment to excellence and integrity. With a sense of hope guiding him, David looked forward to the next chapter of their endeavor, ready to embrace whatever challenges and triumphs lay ahead. The days that followed the crucial presentation were a whirlwind of anticipation and uncertainty. David Brooks and his team navigated the remaining workdays with a mix of hope and anxiety, each passing hour bringing them closer to the executive board's decision. The office, once shadowed by skepticism, now buzzed with a cautious optimism. Colleagues whispered encouragements, and the atmosphere, though still tinged with tension, felt lighter than before. One Monday morning, David arrived at the office to find an urgent email from the CEO titled, "Decision on Project Proposal." His heart raced as he opened it, reading the succinct message. "We have reviewed your proposal and the accompanying report. Let's discuss the next steps in today's meeting at 10 a.m. Relief and excitement surged through him, tempered by the gravity of the moment. As the clock struck 10, the conference room filled with the executive board members and key stakeholders. David, Linda, and Sarah took their seats, the room exuding a formal yet expectant atmosphere. The CEO, Miss Anderson, led the meeting, her demeanor professional but approachable. "Thank you all for your hard work and dedication," Miss Anderson began, her voice steady. "After a thorough review of David's project and the additional documentation provided, we are impressed with both the proposal's merits and the commitment demonstrated by your team." David felt a surge of pride, his earlier doubts momentarily melting away. Miss Anderson continued, "We recognize the potential impact your project can have on our department's efficiency and collaborative efforts. Therefore, we are approving the project and allocating the necessary resources to bring it to fruition." A round of applause broke out around the table, and David exchanged relieved smiles with Linda and Sarah. "Thank you," David responded, his voice reflecting genuine gratitude. "We won't let you down." As the meeting concluded, Mr. Thompson remained seated, his expression inscrutable. David approached him cautiously. "Mr. Thompson, I appreciate your time today." He nodded, offering a professional smile. "Congratulations, David. It seems your hard work has paid off." Mr. Thompson replied curtly, "Indeed. Best of luck with the project." With the board's approval secured, the real work began. The team mobilized quickly, coordinating with various departments to implement the new workflow system. Meetings were held to outline the project phases, assign responsibilities, and set realistic timelines. The initial excitement was palpable, each team member eager to contribute their best. Linda took the lead in liaising with the IT department, ensuring that the technical aspects were addressed promptly. Sarah, with her innovative mindset, spearheaded the integration of collaborative tools, enhancing communication and efficiency. David focused on maintaining the project's vision, balancing strategic planning with hands-on leadership. As the weeks turned into months, the project steadily gained momentum. The office environment began to shift, the previously fragmented teams now working cohesively towards a common goal. The streamlined processes reduced redundancies, and the increased collaboration fostered a more positive and productive atmosphere. One afternoon, as David reviewed the progress reports, he received a call from Miss Anderson. "David, could you come to my office for a moment?" He made his way to her office, curiosity mingling with a hint of nervousness. Miss Anderson greeted him warmly. "David, I wanted to personally commend you on the exceptional progress your team has made. The feedback we've received so far is overwhelmingly positive. David smiled, feeling a deep sense of accomplishment. Thank you, Miss Anderson. It's been a team effort, and we're committed to ensuring the project's continued success. She nodded appreciatively. Your leadership has been instrumental in navigating the challenges and driving this project forward. It's a testament to your resilience and dedication. As David left her office, he felt a renewed sense of purpose. The journey from humiliation to recognition had been arduous, but it underscored the importance of perseverance and the strength derived from a supportive team. Later that week, the office organized a small celebration to mark the project's official launch. Balloons adorned the break room, and a catered lunch brought everyone together in a spirit of camaraderie. David took a moment to observe his colleagues, their faces reflecting pride and satisfaction. Linda approached him, her eyes shining. We did it, David. All our hard work paid off. He nodded, gratitude evident in his expression. I couldn't have asked for a better team. Your support and dedication made all the difference. Sarah joined them, a plate of food in hand. Here's to many more successful projects and continued collaboration. They clinked their glasses in a toast, the simple gesture encapsulating the bond they had forged through adversity. The project had not only transformed their department, but also strengthened their relationships, highlighting the value of trust and mutual support. As the celebration continued, David found a quiet moment by the window, gazing out at the bustling city below. The vibrant lights of Metroville mirrored the energy and possibilities that lay ahead. He reflected on the challenges he had faced, the public humiliation, the self-doubt, and the relentless pursuit of his vision. Despite the obstacles, David had emerged stronger, his belief in himself and his team reinforced by their collective resilience. The experience had reaffirmed his commitment to fostering an environment where innovation and collaboration could thrive, free from the constraints of personal agendas and unwarranted resistance. In the weeks that followed, the project's success became evident through measurable improvements in productivity and employee satisfaction. The new workflow system streamlined operations, reduced bottlenecks, and enhanced communication across departments. Employees expressed their appreciation for the positive changes, and the project became a model for future initiatives. Miss Anderson continued to recognize David's contributions, often seeking his input on strategic decisions. His role within the company expanded, embracing greater responsibilities and opportunities for growth. David embraced these new challenges with the same determination and integrity that had guided him through the project's inception. One evening, as David prepared to leave the office, he received an unexpected message from Mr. Thompson. The email read, David, I wanted to congratulate you on the project's success. It's evident that your leadership and vision were key factors. Best regards, Mr. Thompson. David felt a surge of mixed emotions, relief, satisfaction, and a lingering sense of unresolved tension. He decided to draft a response, maintaining professionalism despite the complex history. Thank you, Mr. Thompson. I appreciate your acknowledgement. It was a team effort, and I'm glad to see the positive outcomes for our department. Best regards, David Brooks. As he sent the email, David felt a sense of closure. The journey had been transformative, teaching him invaluable lessons about resilience, leadership, and the power of supportive relationships. The project's success was not just a professional milestone, but a personal triumph, reinforcing his belief in the importance of perseverance and integrity. Walking out into the cool evening air, David looked up at the stars beginning to twinkle in the night sky. The city's lights below shimmered with promise, a reflection of the endless possibilities that lay ahead. He felt a deep sense of fulfillment, knowing that he had not only advanced his career, but also contributed to creating a more collaborative and innovative workplace. Returning home, David was greeted by the comforting sights of his family. The simple joys of everyday life, a warm meal, heartfelt conversations, and shared laughter reminded him of what truly mattered. The balance between professional ambition and personal happiness had been restored, each aspect enriching the other. As he settled into bed that night, David reflected on the transformative journey he had undertaken. From the depths of humiliation and self-doubt to the heights of professional recognition and personal growth, the experience had shaped him in profound ways. He knew that challenges would continue to arise, but the strength and resilience had discovered within himself and his team would guide him through whatever lay ahead. With a contented sigh, David drifted into a peaceful sleep, ready to embrace the new beginnings that awaited him and his dedicated team. I really hope you enjoyed the story. Please leave a comment with your views. I'm sure there will be new videos on this channel that will thrill you. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, give it a like, and activate the notification bell so you don't miss our next videos. Until next time.